have you ever felt it? That really profound sense of connection. Like some people just seem plugged into some kind of immense wisdom, or they have this effortless inner
It's
peace.
captivating, isn't it?
Yeah,
That idea.
totally. But like, what if that connection isn't something you have to go out and find or strive for?
What if it's something you already have?
Exactly. Deep inside, like it's always been there.
And that's a really fascinating idea we're diving into today.
Welcome, everyone, to the deep dive.
We're going to unpack some pretty profound insights from Dr. Roy E. Richmond. It's from his publication, How to Stay in Contact, DivineMind.pdf.
Yeah. And the core question the mission Dr. Richmond sets out is basically how to stay in contact with the divine mind Father like Jesus did.
Mm-hmm. And his answer, right off the bat, it's kind of revolutionary.
What is it?
He says we already have contact right now with the divine mind.
Whoa. Okay. So we already have it.
Yes. He actually points to Scripture, 1 John chapter 2, verse 20. It says something like, we have contact with the divine mind, Holy One, and we know all things.
We know all things.
Yeah, but here's the catch, according to Dr. Richmond. The challenge isn't getting the connection.
Uh-huh.
It's that we are not yet fully aware of what we know.
Okay, hang on. So we know, but we don't know that we know. Is that it?
Pretty much. Think about that. The knowledge, the connection, it's there. We're just not fully conscious of it yet.
So this deep dive today, it's not really about like learning a new skill or acquiring something?
Not at all. It's about exploring Dr. Richmond's methods, practical ways to actually awaken to this connection that's already inside you.
And then deepen it, presumably.
Exactly. Deepen that inherent existing connection. It's more like a journey of revelation, uncovering what's there, not acquiring something new.
Okay, that idea of inherent oneness,
Yeah.
it really flips the script, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Dr. Richmond essentially says, stop striving. You don't need to find connection.
But
The work is more about undoing the belief that you're separate, letting go of that idea.
so you can just rest.
Yeah, rest in the eternal I am that lives as you. That's his phrasing. It implies the path isn't hard work. It's more about acceptance, profound acceptance.
Wow. Okay, so if we already have contact and we just need to know it, what does that knowing look like in practice?
Yeah.
How does Dr. Richmond say we start, cultivating that inner receptivity, that clarity?
Well, the first step he really points to is stillness, daily stillness.
Oh, makes sense.
He emphasizes we need to quiet the outer chatter, all that mental noise.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Right, to enter into the spiritual stillness where the voice of spirit can be understood.
So it's like tuning out the static.
Exactly. He says in that stillness, your awareness settles into the frequency of divine thought. It's like tuning a radio, finding that clear channel amidst all the noise.
I like that analogy, tuning in, but how do we make sure we're tuning into the right station, so to speak, not just, more noise or emotion?
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
He specifically says to meditate on spiritual understanding, not just emotion.
Okay, what does that mean? Revelation over reaction.
Yeah. Let's say you're meditating, right? And suddenly this wave of anxiety or maybe anger about something that happened just washes over you.
Happens all the time.
Totally. So a reaction would be getting caught up in it, reliving it, feeling the anger build again.
Right.
Revelation, though, is different. You acknowledge the feeling, sure, but then you consciously shift your focus back to a spiritual truth, maybe your oneness or the peace that's underneath it all.
So you don't get swept away.
Precisely. You let the feeling pass through you without identifying with it, because as he says, feelings come and go, but divine mind is eternal.
Okay, that's a key distinction. Let it pass. And connected to that, he talks about keeping our inner altar clear. What's that about?
Yeah, he talks about things like bitterness, shame, guilt, or offense. He calls them inner clutter.
Like dust bunnies for the soul.
Huh, sort of. Yeah, they cloud our conscious awareness of that divine connection.
So if someone's really struggling with that stuff, holding on to bitterness or guilt, what's the advice? How do you release it quickly, like he says?
His advice is quite direct, actually. Release what hinders you quickly, bless freely, and remain in inner peace.
Quickly, though, that sounds hard.
Well, it's less about a long, drawn-out analysis, maybe, and more about a decisive choice, an active letting go.
Like sweeping the altar clear, like you said.
Exactly. You don't examine every speck of dust, you just clear it away. It's a practice of immediate forgiveness, or as immediate as you can manage, and choosing to return to inner peace, which he suggests is our natural state anyway.
Okay, so clearing the emotional decks is crucial. But then he talks about perception, doesn't he? Shifting how we see things, something about the single eye.
Yes, live from the single eye, third eye pineal gland. That's a big one.
What does that actually mean, though, seeing all through the lens of oneness, refusing to judge by appearances?
It's about moving into a deeper kind of perception, spiritual perception. The single eye, or third eye, it's often linked to the pineal gland in, various traditions. It symbolizes a point of unified insight, seeing beyond the surface level, beyond the duality, good, bad, right, wrong. Exactly that. Instead of getting caught up in the drama or the appearances, you look for the underlying spiritual truth in every situation. You practice seeing what is from that divine perspective, not just what our limited, maybe fearful, carnal awareness tells us is there.
That's a fundamental shift in how you'd approach, well, everything.
It really is. And building right on that, he encourages us to embody our spirit and practice non-resistance, to flow with Zoe life.
Zoe life. What's Zoe life?
Zoe, in this context, it refers to the divine, uncreated life force. Like life is spirit, not just biological life, the energy that flows through everything.
Got it. And why is non-resistance so key to flowing with it?
Because, as Dr. Richmond puts it, divine mind does not strive. IT moves with imperfect peace. So if you want to align with that flow, you have to let go of your striving, your resistance, your attempts to force things.
So you allow things to unfold.
Yes. Allow every moment as part of that intelligent, peaceful movement of spirit expressing through you. It's about alignment, really, not struggle.
Okay, alignment, not struggle. And central to all this is refusing to identify with lack or separation. He's very clear. Any thought that says you are apart from God is a lie. Unequivocally. But for someone who's maybe felt disconnected or, not good enough for a long time, that thought pattern can be really ingrained. How does he suggest we actually replace it? It sounds simple, but doing it.
Oh, it's definitely a practice, not a switch you flip once. His instruction is to replace it immediately with the truth of your origin, identity, and eternal connection to Spirit, Breath, Father, God, Source. Whatever term resonates.
Immediately.
As immediately as you catch it. The moment you notice that thought of separation or lack, you consciously, deliberately choose a different thought. The true one.
Like building a mental muscle.
That's a great way to put it. You're retraining your mind. The more you redirect to the truth of your oneness, the weaker that old, false belief gets. It takes vigilance, for sure, and a willingness to actually believe the deeper truth.
Vigilance. Okay. That seems to lead into the next practical area, guarding our input, right?
Yeah.
And mastering our expression.
Exactly. Once you start cultivating the inner world and refining perception, the next step is managing what comes in and what goes out.
So how do we guard the gates of your awareness, as he puts it?
It means being really discerning, conscious, about what enters your consciousness through thought, speech, or influence. What are you watching, reading, listening to? Who are you listening to?
Okay.
The advice is to actively feed your awareness with the logos of truth, wisdom, and understanding. And more than that, to let the voice of spirit be your guard.
A guard over everything. Eyes, ears, thoughts.
Yes, over your eyes what you see, your ears what you hear, your thoughts what you think, and your mouth what you say. It's this comprehensive inner guidance system protecting your awareness.
Wow, that requires real intentionality. And does that extend to how we speak and act, too? He says, speak as spirit speaks, do as spirit does.
It absolutely does. It's about using your words, your actions, as tools. Tools for creation, for upliftment, for alignment.
Not just reacting or speaking carelessly.
Right. He talks about allowing divine mind to express through your voice. Speaking love without a cause, order, and wisdom. Imagine that every word, every action infused with that perfect peace and wisdom.
That's a high bar, but I see the principle. Conscious, aligned expression.
It's the ideal you're aligning with.
Okay, so those are big shifts in mindset and action. What about specific active practices Dr. Richmond recommends to really deepen this awareness daily? He mentions affirmations.
Yes, he says, affirm your union with Spirit Father daily, using phrases like, I and Father are one, or I live, move, and have my being in divine mind.
But are they just reciting words, like positive thinking?
He's clear they're not just affirmations in that sense. He calls them awareness setters.
Awareness setters. What's the difference?
It's about the intention. You're not just saying the words, hoping they'll become true. You're speaking them as declarations of what is already true, grounding yourself in that reality. You're consciously setting your awareness to that frequency throughout the day.
Got it. Not just wishing, but knowing, embodying it.
Exactly. And another huge practice he emphasizes is gratitude. Walk in grateful awareness.
He calls gratitude a fertile garden. That's lovely. But what if, someone feels like their garden's pretty barren right now? Life's tough. How do you start cultivating gratitude then?
That's a really important point. Dr. Richmond suggests gratitude itself opens the heart for more. It attunes your awareness to the good that is there, even if it feels small.
Like finding one tiny flower.
Yes. And he gives that powerful example of Jesus feeding the multitudes. What did Jesus do? He just gave thanks for the few loaves and fish he had.
And it multiplied.
His gratefulness increased the food, according to the story. So even if your garden feels barren, you start by genuinely giving thanks for the smallest things, the tiniest sprouts. That act of appreciation itself starts to, well, fertilize the soil.
That's a powerful way to look at it. Gratitude as an active force.
Very much so.
And he also talks about feeding on the logos of living word daily.
Yeah.
Reading scripture or wisdom texts, but differently.
Yes, differently. Not like reading a history book or a list of rules.
How then?
He says to approach it not as history, but as spiritual energy encoded in language.
Spiritual energy, wow. How do we tap into that?
It's about letting spirit reveal its inner meaning and application for your now. So less intellectual dissection, more allowing.
Yeah.
Letting the deeper essence of the words resonate within you, unlock something.
So it's personal, but not about you personally.
Exactly. It's all about an awareness, not about you personally. It's about letting that universal wisdom speak to your current state of awareness.
Okay, a living engagement with wisdom. And guiding all this, he stresses listening for the inner voice, both inside us and potentially in others.
Right. He says, the divine voice within you is your true guide in hearing the truth. That's primary.
But sometimes we listen to teachers, messengers. How do we know if they are aligned with that inner truth? How do we discern?
His advice is practical. Be sure to know what they are offering you. And the key, if it gives you true peace, then go with it.
Peace is the barometer.
Yes. Tune inward often and follow peace, not pressure. If a teaching makes you feel pressured, anxious, conflicted, it might not be aligned with your inner guide at that moment. Trust that inner sense of peace.
That's really empowering. It puts the ultimate authority back inside.
It does.
So beyond these crucial individual practices, Dr. Richmond also talks about community, right? And continuous learning.
Absolutely. He advises stay in deliberate fellowship with others on a spiritual path.
Why is that so important if the connection is ultimately internal?
Because, as he puts it, unity multiplies awareness. Being around others who are also focused on awakening in truth, it creates this supportive energy. It amplifies things.
Like iron sharpens iron.
Exactly that idiom. You encourage each other, maybe challenge each other in helpful ways. It makes the journey feel more vibrant, less isolating.
So community matters. And
Yeah.
finally, the reminder to be continually teachable. Seems obvious, but what's the deeper point there?
The deeper point is acknowledging the infinite nature of this. The divine mind of spirit in us is infinite.
Meaning we never fully arrive.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What you grasp today, however profound, is valuable, yes. But it's just the threshold, not the fullness.
So always stay open.
Always stay open to further revelation from the voice of spirit in you, and also potentially through consecrated messengers who bring genuine peace. It's a lifelong path of discovery. There's always more depth, always more understanding waiting.
Okay, wow. Let's just try and summarize this a bit. Dr. Richmond's core message, it seems, is incredibly profound. This contact with the divine mind, it's not something we need to chase after.
No, it's something to awaken to. It's already here.
And all these practices we've talked about, the stillness, the non-resistance, the gratitude, the discernment, they're really tools for that awakening process.
Practical tools, yeah. For consciously realizing what's inherently ours, what's always been true about us.
What really strikes me is how it shifts from effort and striving
Mm-hmm.
to more about aligning, releasing, listening. It feels like a journey of inner transformation that starts with just accepting your true nature.
Absolutely. It's not about trying to become something you're not. It's about remembering or becoming aware of who you truly fundamentally are.
So thinking about you, our listener, what does all this really mean? If you take Dr. Richmond's perspective seriously, that you are already one with the divine mind, that you know all things, but just aren't fully aware of it.
Yeah, how might that change things?
Right. How might your daily life, the decisions you make, how you see the world, how might all of that fundamentally shift if you started living from that inherent awareness?
How would it feel to move through your day knowing, really knowing, you're already perfectly connected?
That's definitely something to ponder on, a really provocative thought.
And if you want to explore Dr. Roy's work further, you can find more at lulu.com/spotlight Roy's Richmond.
Or check out his website, which is droyrichmond.com.